And now let's look at a few more HTML5 elements: main, header, hgroup, footer, figure, and figcaption. These are all non-sectioning elements. When used, they do not create a new section, and they do not contribute to the document outline. As with sectioning elements, each of the non-sectioning elements is meant for a specific purpose. We'll be looking at several of the most widely used non-sectioning elements. These include things that you'll most often place in every web page, things like header, footer, main, and perhaps you'll use hgroup and the figure and figcaption tags as well. The main element is meant to replace the containing div that is often used to wrap around the main section of your page to combine those elements within a container. The main is an element that you would use to wrap all of your main content, which should be everything in your main document outline. Sidebars, navigation, logos, copyright information, and similar content are not part of the main document outline, and they shouldn't be included inside of main. The main element should wrap content unique to the specific document and not include content that is repeated across documents. For example, your global navigation should not be inserted into the main element. You should only use one main element per page. So consider the content on your page and then group all of the main content inside the main element. I think that the main element is similar to the nav element in that I think it's one of the easiest to use in practice. The header element is meant to contain introductory content for its nearest ancestor section or sectioning root. When the ancestor element is the body, then the header element applies to the whole page. However, the body is not the only section on the page. You can use header elements as introductions to sections throughout your web page. The header element inside a section or article will typically include one or more headings inside it. You do not have to use the header element for every heading element, but if it makes sense to group that area as a heading, then I would say use it. Within the header element, you may find an hgroup element. The hgroup element represents a multi-level heading for a section of a document. It groups a set of h1 through h6 elements. The hgroup element allows the primary heading for a document section to be grouped with any secondary headings, such as subheadings or alternative titles. This forms a multi-level heading. In other words, the hgroup element prevents any of its secondary children from creating separate sections of their own within the document outline. If these elements were not children of an hgroup, then they would create their own separate section within your document outline. So if it makes sense to group these together, we use hgroup. You're probably used to seeing footers on websites all the time. They usually contain copyright stuff, a few selected navigational links, and maybe contact information. Just like the header element, the footer element does not introduce a new section in your document, but it is usually the last part of a specific section, whether it be an article, section, or some other element within your page. This means that you can have multiple footers on the same page. If you have several blog entries on one page, every blog entry can have its own footer, and the page itself can also have its own footer. And what should the footer contain? Content that is related to the section's content, but not part of the actual content. Footer content is normally links, author information, copyright details, notes, etc. For an article, you can use the footer to display details about the author. For the page, you can use the footer to display the copyright and more links that are related to the page. For a section, the footer can contain links related to the section or some fine print as extra information. So know that the footer is always the last part of a given section, not necessarily the document. The footer element is nested inside its parent element. It is possible to have several footers in one document, and the footer usually contains information about the section, such as author, publish date, copyright, etc. The figure element identifies self-contained content related to the main content. These are things such as images, tables, or charts. The figcaption element is often nested within a figure element to add a caption to the content identified by the figure tags. Usually, a figure is an image, illustration, diagram, code snippet, or something along these lines. This is referenced in the main flow of the document, but the figure element can be moved to another part of the document or to an appendix without affecting the main flow. The figure element is also excluded from the main outline of the document. A caption can be associated with the figure element by using the figcaption inside the figure element. This can be the first or the last child of the figure element. As you can see, additional tags can really add in making our page more semantic. As I mentioned, all of the ones that we reviewed here are non-sectioning, meaning they would not appear in a document outline. We will put in practice using some of these semantic structural elements to build a page, giving it more meaning under the hood.